Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for this update meeting on the progress of the Pathways projects that our Center of Workforce Innovation for Patient Care is engaged in. We're so excited for you to join us, and we're excited, honestly, to report on every great thing that we're doing in our Center of Workforce Innovation for Patient Care. We are in the second year of the Pathways initiative, and we have more partners. We have education partners and industry partners and more pathway projects. And so we see that as a great success, but we couldn't have done any of that without all of your collaboration, all of your hard work, and interest, quite honestly. So thank you to everyone involved. Next slide, please. Next slide. Okay, next slide. No one needs to see that. Here are our education partners in this center. As you see, they range from four-year colleges, of course, the community colleges that are leading this initiative, as well as high schools and professional organizations. We just, the engagement has been phenomenal. We have broken down silos amongst education partners to come together really to work toward the same goal of creating and enhancing pathways for students and adult learners, no matter where they pick up their training and education, so that they can, in fact, have the skills necessary for our businesses to thrive and for these individuals to have family sustaining wages. We know that stackable credentials, industry value credentials embedded in training and education are the key to ensuring that all of New Jersey's residents are ready for the workforce, and we're moving in that direction. We're engaging high schools with career awareness, dual enrollment. We're enhancing articulation agreements between community colleges and four-year colleges and universities. We're partnering with the Workforce Development System. You'll see us soon at the GACITA conference. We're just trying to cover all of our bases to really bring all of those organizations and individuals involved in education and training in the state of New Jersey together so that we are all moving down the same road. And certainly this voluminous list of partners working on the pathway projects in the Center of Workforce Innovation for Patient Care is an example of that. Next slide. Here's our agenda. We're going to get to hear from the individuals who are leading the pathway projects. We will have a question and answer segment because we want all of you to understand exactly what is happening in our center. And then I'll come back with a few closing remarks. I do want to acknowledge, and maybe it's on the next slide, Stephanie. Yes. So the lead institution for our Center of Workforce Innovation for Patient Care is Brookdale Community College. Susan Pagano is the representative holding it all together and ensuring that all the pathway projects that are being worked on in this center are moving along and will reach the deadline or reach the goal by June 30, which is the end of year 2 for this Pathways initiative. And so I think now I am introducing Susan Pagano to pick up. Susan, you want to unmute yourself? Lauren, can you unmute Susan?
Thank you.
Perfect.
Sorry, it wasn't letting me unmute. I apologize. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you so much for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. My name is Susan Pagano. I am the Executive Director of Continuing and Professional Studies here at Brookdale Community College. I welcome everyone here this morning, and I thank you all for joining us to hear about all the great work that our education partners are doing. And I'm happy to serve as the center lead for this project. It's been a great experience so far getting to work with such great professionals from across the state of New Jersey. So we have 10 projects that you'll hear from as part of the Center of Workforce Innovation for Patient Care. And I am happy to introduce our first center. It is the Gerontology Long-Term Care Summer Immersive Digital Badge Program. I'd like to introduce Darlene Zales-Rusamano from Bergen Community College. Darlene?
Good morning. I'm sitting here with Carmen Cruz Torres, who's the Assistant Dean of the nursing program here at Bergen as well. When we are on separate computers in the same office, there's feedback. So we decided to be together, and that's why this is a collaborative effort. So Bergen Community College has noticed the increase in the geriatric population and the need for more nurses. At one of our advisory board meetings, a gentleman from Genesis was explaining that he cannot retain nurses and was explaining about the nursing shortage. And he was trying to partner with us. And we decided to come up with a pathway for student nurses to explore this specialty after they graduate. So we have a summer immersive program, which is, it's actually for 4 full weeks in which they have 18-hour lectures and 72 hours clinical experience specifically to the adult long-term care setting. We were fortunate enough to work with Maple Glen Genesis, where they're taking on the students. So we're collaborating with them. They're taking on our students for long-term care setting. It's run by faculty well-versed in gerontology. The students will also be able to get a digital badge, micro-credential after this, which will go in their clinical portfolio. It is specifically made for this population. We're also going to be doing a one at the same time or following this one from oncology. Again, Hackensack Meridian has told us the need for oncology nurses, so we're initiating another program for that. We're able to give the students micro-credentials through our Canvas management system here at the school. So, I'm sorry, the video wasn't on it all that time. So our students will get experiential learning here at Genesis Maple Glen. We have facilities that have open arms to take our students. And the clinical faculty will be the feedback and evaluation, resulting in a digital badge micro-credentialing that the nurses will have that will go on their resume to move forward for long-term care. Hopefully this will increase employment in the long-term care settings. We're not at, and we actually have, I'm reading the chatting at the same time, I'm sorry. Clinical partners who are working, Hackensack Meridian and Genesis are working with us to get these 2 programs up and running so the students can actually be in their facilities, and hopefully they will retain these students for employment. Do you have any questions or concerns?
We're going to have a Q&A session at the end, so folks could put any questions that they have in the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you so much, Darlene. The next project that we'd like to introduce is the Nursing Success Bootcamp. So I'd like to introduce Fathia Richardson from Camden County College and Myrna Morales from Atlantic Cape Community College.
Good morning, everyone. I'm going to start off our presentation. As Stephanie said, we're doing the Nursing Success Bootcamp. We found that there is a high proportion of students struggling to make it through the first level nursing course in previous years. This is likely due to the lack of adequate resources necessary to devote individualized resources to remediation. In response to these challenges, Atlantic Cape, in conjunction with Camden County College, developed a Nursing Success Bootcamp. Atlantic Cape for their registered nurse program, and Camden County for our practical nursing program. The boot camp is designed to target newly admitted students and prepare them for the rigors of nursing education. We've developed sessions to address observed deficits such as study skills, test-taking strategies, anatomy and physiology, dosage calculation, nursing culture, and clinical judgment, which is a big thing on our nursing licensure exam now. And next will be Myrna Morales, who will share the boot camp process as well as Atlantic Cape's progress. You're muted, Myrna.
Forgive me. Good morning. It's a pleasure to be here. If you had approached our nursing program about 5 to 6 years ago, what we would have been able to say with confidence was that our nursing students were successfully completing the associate degree at 80%, and that our Nursing 1 course was an extremely successful course in which most students moved on into the second. COVID hit, and the complications that occurred during that time period and then continue to be felt throughout all of healthcare. And now what we have instead at Atlantic Cape is we have a situation where our Nursing 1 students are not completing Nursing 1 successfully. They are struggling. And what we thought initially was that this was really all about the fact that we were having some type of academic deficit. And with some serious consideration to what students were experiencing, what we really discovered is that their needs were greater than just academics. So the idea of an academic coach, someone who could support students emotionally as well as academically, was going to be needed to help these students get through that first nursing course. Also needed was the opportunity to better understand what nursing is. For the longest time, we had depended on that first nursing course to introduce students to the nursing program, to introduce them to nursing culture, to introduce them to the demands of the skills and the learning that needed to occur. And instead, we discovered we were waiting too long. So the idea of having these enhancement sessions that would occur during the summer prior to the Nursing 1 course was also considered to be part of what we needed to do with the boot camp. And then because it's important to report, the intention is through this project is to report on these foreseen and unforeseen barriers. Excuse me, I'm having difficulty seeing here. And then of course to report on the success or the lack of success among these students based on their exposure to the camp. All right. Well, once again, Atlantic Cape does not see itself as unique. As Dr. Richardson from Camden County can say about her practical nursing program, we in nursing have, I believe, an issue that was, in a sense, brought on by what happened with the pandemic, but has not found its way, is not resolving. And so here at Atlantic Cape, we took a three-prong approach to addressing the students' ability to succeed in the nursing course. Camden County, through Dr. Richardson, is taking the same process. The idea of hiring a success coach, the idea of creating these very specific sessions that address these deficits. Our students were coming in and continue to come in not understanding what the culture of nursing is. And I always give the example is in nursing, we do not have soft due dates or due times. You know, if something's due at 10 o'clock, it's due at 10 o'clock. And those kinds of changes in thinking were necessary to see these students have better success. So with the hiring of the success coach to support students, the creating of these sessions, and then addressing very, very specific deficits among student learning, anatomy and physiology, test-taking skill, time management skills, challenges. Wow, where do you find the right person who is going to serve as your success coach? I believe that was probably for us as well as for Dr. Richardson, one of the most difficult, challenging things to do. for us at Atlantic Cape, what we discovered is that we needed to look at what we already had in terms of personnel. And we were able to dig down into what we were doing with supplemental instruction. And we discovered that we had really the perfect candidate right among us. We just didn't even see that because she was working in a different role. And then the only word of advice that I can provide from Atlantic Cape is that be clear about your expectations. We trialed these sessions last summer when we were given some grant money through the college. And what we discovered is that everybody's perception of what students' needs are look a little different. And so words of advice would be to be very clear about expectations and process. But thank you.
And so I'm going to discuss Camden County's process. So our college, just like Atlantic Cape, we've had difficulty retaining students in our practical nursing program. We actually have a practical nursing program and we have an LPN RN program. We don't seem to have the issues with retention in our LPN RN program. Could be due to various variables, such as the fact that they've been through a nursing program before, so they kind of, have already developed those skills for success. But our practical nursing students are a different demographic. So, we're doing the Success Bootcamp. Our timeline's a little bit different. We're starting this summer, actually, with the students prior to their fall semester. We are going to use the same products. We're going to have the Success Coach, the ATI launch product. ATI stands for Assessment Technology Institute, which is a supplemental learning platform that we use throughout the program. And they have a program in the beginning, which covers those things such as time management, anatomy, physiology, the things that we mentioned before. Our boot camp will run for 10 weeks this summer. It'll be 4 weeks face-to-face with 6 weeks online. And then the Success Coach will support the students through their first nursing course. And this will allow us to collect data based on the summer experience, as well as, seeing whether or not it was effective throughout their first course. And hopefully we have less attrition than we've had in the past. So some challenges is finding an experienced nurse educator, same as Atlantic Cape, because we feel that the person has to have experience with this specific population, and also some strategies in order to help them. Some solutions, as we did send postings to our adjunct faculty. We did get some interest, but we do have some outsiders as well who are interested in the position. We're actually interviewing this week for that position. And then words of advice when attempting to remove barriers to nursing education access. It's important to embed necessary support, including adequate personnel resources to improve students' chances of success. So again, it's, I think we all have good intentions, but, we can't do everything, and, as individuals. So we definitely need that support. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. So the next project that I would like to introduce is the Pathways to Careers in Nursing. So I'm introducing Scott Shanes from Brookdale Community College. Scott?
Thank you, Susan. And I must say it's great to see so many of my fellow colleagues across the state who we've worked with on many grants over the years. So it's great to be here this morning. Many of you may not know, but Monmouth County is probably the largest. Healthcare is the largest employer within the county. So looking at that, we were internally trying to figure out what could we do to impact that within the county and help the shortage within the healthcare industry. And one of the things that we came together with was being able to fund students for our CNA, our home health aide, and our PCT classes. These classes happen to be prerequisites into Brookdale's nursing program. So with the funding that we received, we are looking at potentially funding 80 students tuition for these 3 programs. And to date, we've already issued out 63 what do you call it, students, granting them the ability to take those classes at no cost. So you could see definitely a large impact in terms of being able to assist students, because one of the biggest things, as I'm sure all of us face with students, is, how are they going to pay for classes? They want to take a class, but they just don't have the funding. So the resources that we received through the Pathways to Nursing grant gave us the ability to offset the tuition in those 3 programs, giving these students the ability to jump in and either directly work into the field right away, or continue that pathway into nursing either right away or in the future. With that being said, there were definitely some challenges along the way, not so much in terms of us implementing this with the students. It was more of the behind the scenes challenges that we weren't ready for, and just came up as we started registering students and having the students apply for the grant, where we had to kind of tinker and tweak things so that they would get the paperwork back in a timely fashion. And unfortunately, those were some of the things that we had to kind of, I guess, figure out on the fly. Students not getting back paperwork in time, or sending back the items for the application in piecemeal, us tracking them down. So it kind of put a little bit of an added burden on not only the staff within the healthcare team, but also the people within registration in our office. So, after a few months of rolling this out, I mean, I think at this point, we definitely have it fine-tuned. We are definitely going to meet as a team after everything is completed later this year, to kind of go over the whole project in general and look to kind of really fine-tune everything down to a T for any type of future funding that we may receive, moving forward. Moving forward in terms of other things that we were doing within the Pathways to Nursing grant, we received funding as well for, someone's trying to call me. We received funding so that we can run our RN LPN refresher and our RN PN review class. We get calls quite often from students throughout the state needing to do a refresher class to get their license back and active. So these would be individuals that, either stayed at home to take care of their children, they wanted to get back to work, or, just took a break for whatever reason, and now are looking to jump back into the workplace. And as we all know, there's definite high need of nurses within the state. So we run this RN LPN refresher and RN LPN review class. And with the additional funding that we received, we are able to not only run the normal section, but we added a second section because of the demand and the ability to offset the tuition for these students. This gives these students the ability to take the class. Many of them, with being out of work, they don't have those funds. I can't begin to tell you how rewarding it was to go into the classroom shortly after we received the grant funding to let these students know that they had this ability to apply for this grant. There were cheers galore, and kind of, this is why we do what we do, right? To be able to provide that opportunity to students. Further along, while working with the nursing department, we were given feedback from them that many of their students that are enrolled in the nursing program were having difficulty with the math portion of the program, even entry-level math, algebra, regular geometry, fractions, multiplication. So what we did is we partnered with the nursing department and the nursing faculty to order some math, to put together some math workshop boot camps for the nursing students. We actually just finished a round of workshops about 2 weeks ago, where we had roughly about 40 students that are enrolled in the nursing program. We've done this once before, and the feedback that we're getting from the nursing department is that they already see the benefit with the students as they're progressing through the program. So that's definitely a real positive that we've seen come out of this funding. Moving along, one of the other things that we've been able to do is we've partnered with, we hear from employers all the time in terms of their struggles to find employees, and then once they find employees, to get them educated. So what we've been able to do is we've partnered with an organization called Home Helpers of Monmouth County. And what we're doing is they're going out, they're identifying employees that they want to hire, and then they're forwarding them to us for us to put them through training to become home health aides. And then after they complete the program, they then go and work for Home Helpers of Monmouth County. So a great partnership, helping an employer in the county be able to, fulfill their hiring challenges and being able to put students through the program, again, at no cost. And then lastly, we're working with Monmouth County Vocational Technical School, where they're delivering an LPN program. While in that program, they're offering tutoring to support the LPN students, and then those students can continue on if they'd like and come to Brookdale and enroll in our RN program. So some really great opportunities, really great things that we're proud of that we're doing here. I want to thank everybody here at the college, certainly the people within my healthcare team, specifically Joyce Constantino, who is on this call, for her guided support and working with us, and certainly for Susan and the support that she's given us. So certainly I'll be around to answer any questions at the end, but thank you again.
Thank you so much, Scott. The next project that I would like to introduce is the Certified Clinical Medical Assistant Pilot Program. And I'm introducing Monique Brathwaite from Union County College. Monique?
Hi, everybody. Susan, Stephanie, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
All right, awesome.
Oh, wait, actually now you're muted. I'm sorry, Monique.
Good.
Yes, good.
All right, perfect. Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Monique Brathwaite. I'm the program director here at UCNJ, Union College of Union County, New Jersey. And we have had the opportunity to pilot this Certified Clinical Medical Assistant program. The program is in high demand within the community that we serve. And through this project, we were able to take on 15 students to receive certified clinical medical assistant training. This project was beneficial for adult learners that aspire to acquire new skills and attain industry valued recognized credentials in the thriving allied health market. It positions them to enter the allied health workforce and as certified medical assistants, and equip them to earn a sustainable living wage. And that's going to be evident later on when I talk about our employer partners. Next. The students engaged with 13 modules, including an opportunity to have a clinical internship. We went over theory concepts and practical applications to solidify their understanding in the subject matter. The program has a job developer built in to help the students support their job skills, their resume building skills. We do mock interviews. There's group sessions, one-on-one meetings to further, solidify that going back to work, skill. Additionally, the students prepare for 4 industry valued credentials, 3 with the National Health Career Association and 1 with the American Heart Association. That is the Certified EKG Technician, Certified Phlebotomy Technician, and the big credential, the Certified Clinical Medical Assistant credential, as well as the BLS, the CPR certification. Next. So here at UCNJ, we didn't offer this program before, but due to the pilot program, this opportunity, we were able to offer this program to students, and we have been successful. We've established, and this is what I was referring to before, that we've established ourselves within our community where employer partners are enthusiastic about working with us. At first, we had about 3 partners. Now we're up to 6. And there's so much employment opportunities for our students that they are now getting to choose which site they want to work at. It's important to note that the first cohort that I have, which I'm broadcasting from our lab, our skills lab, and the students are right next door, and they are preparing, the first cohort is preparing to leave next week. We are super excited for them. They've been on interviews. The employer partners have come to the campus, which is unheard of. They've come to the campus to pre-screen our students, meet them, work with them. One employer partner came here and wanted to see their skills and allow the students to draw, to work on her and to do vital signs and things like that. So it was an awesome opportunity for the students. Yeah, they were nervous, but they were able to get through it. And she was able to pick out at least 4 candidates that she was interested in. So we've established ourselves here within the community. And it's just been going great with our employer partners. The challenges that we've had were not based in retention. We didn't have a retention an issue. We have 100% retention rate in this program. But the challenges we encountered were really student life issues. So food insecurity, stable housing, mental health needs, things of that nature. And I'm so glad that we as UCNJ, we wanted the students to feel welcome, very much a part of the campus. And we're not just interested in their academic life, but we're interested in their life in general. And so the students take part in our hoop market. And these are services that are free to them. The hoop market. During Thanksgiving, they were able to receive turkeys at our main campus in Cranford. The students are able to take part in our farmers market, which is going on today, our career closet. So the students, we're trying to meet all of their needs, not just their academic needs. The solution, our steadfast commitment to ensuring that the students had access to everything on campus. And that enabled us to provide the assistance and guidance and address the needs that they had. Word of advice, one of the things that I found that was really successful with choosing or selecting the students is that I had a panel. We had the job developer, we had an employer partner during our information session, we had the instructor and myself. And what we did was we interviewed every candidate that, that was interested in being in this program. And that allowed us to really hone in on the student that was really serious, really that wanted to make a change, whether this is a new career path or not. They wanted to upskill. So we were able to really select, and I think that is one of the key components, or one of the things that made us successful in our retention rate and in retaining all of the students that we have. So we participated in career fairs and job fairs to recruit even employers. And these are the kind of things that I believe that made this program so far successful. Phase 2, I'll end with this, that phase 2, or the second cohort rather, is starting April 1st. And this is the balance of the students. We've done the same thing. And I believe that we are gonna go out with a bang. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Monique. I always love hearing you speak about your project with such, excitement. The next project that I'd like to introduce is the Adult Literacy Pilot with Allied Health Professional Fundamentals for ESL students. Winster Ceballos from Passaic County Community College will be presenting on project updates. Winster?
Good morning, everybody. On the call with me are Ms. Janet Albridge, our Dean for Continuing Ed, also Douglas Ramirez, our ESL Program Coordinator and an instructor of the course, and also Samuel Blanco, also one of the instructors. So basically, we have this pilot course that will help to provide ESL students with an integrated education and training related to the healthcare career pathway. What we're trying to do with this program is to have the ESO students help with the language skills and cultural competencies which are valuable to the healthcare field and prepare them to move forward on the healthcare career pathway. Our Medical Assistant Foundation Fundamentals for ESO Student course it's aiming to prepare them for their role as a allied health setting, as well as real applications. They will be introduced to medical terminology, vital signs, basic anatomy and physiology, computer in the medical office, front office procedures, also OSHI standards, first aid and CPR, and also medical surgical and septic techniques. Next, please. So we developed this course in partnership with our Certified Medical Assistant program because our goal is to provide high-end instruction, of course, and also bridge our ESO students into whoever's interested into our Certified Medical Assistant program within the college. Language proficiency has been, of course, an issue because of the different levels of our ESO students, and that's something that we are following up. We are providing supplemental English for specific purposes sessions incorporated into the course. We're using Burlington English to help them with the language, also utilizing visual aids and interactive learning tools to enhance comprehension for non-native speakers, and also displaying essential concepts and new vocabulary on the board that helps them with the comprehension challenges. It was great that our expectation for the class size was surpassed. Our goal for 15 students, we end up with 19, which is great. But in the future, we will probably need to split the cohorts in two because of space and also for better teaching experience for our students. Next, please. Some recommendations, and Douglas, if you want to jump in, please too. Basically, we're going to review and modify the syllabus to focus on more foundation topics and skills that are essential for entry-level medical assistant, ensuring that are achievable for our students so they can be proficient at the level. We're going to try to introduce modular approach that allow flexibility in teaching complex subjects, breaking them down into more manageable segments, and also implement continuous assessment methods to gauge students' understanding and adjust teaching strategy accordingly. Douglas? Okay, so the final deliverable, next please. Oh, no, okay. Basically, what we're trying to, at the end of this course, we're gonna review and see what worked, what did not work. Oh, can you unmute Douglas Ramirez, please? He's trying to.
Yeah. So I
there
got
we
it.
go.
All right.
Go ahead, Douglas.
No problem. So yeah, good morning, everybody. Douglas Ramirez here from Paseo County Community College. I was supposed to be off today, but Winston told me if you're not here, well, you won't have a job. So I'm here. In any event, we had a few challenges. He was talking about the class size. So one of the things that we did, we've actually split the course in two groups. One goes to the lab and the other one stays with the language instructors. There are 4 of us, 2 content instructors and 2 language acquisition instructors. The proficiency levels, as Winston was talking about, created a problem, but we found a solution. We have incorporated English for specific purposes into our sessions, which includes medical terminology, obviously. We are using more visual aids, interactive learning, so we're helping students that way. Content, we are tailoring the content, that's helping them. It's helping us and it's helping them because we have the expectations are more realistic now. One of the greatest things that we have, which is a positive outcome from this course and benefit, is that the retention of for our students have been incredible. We have only lost one student, and the attendance, despite everything and all the challenges that we've had, the students keep showing up. They have demonstrated a strong commitment and interest in the course, and that's something that we are really appreciate. Their engagement and enthusiasm is incredible. They even though for many of them, I thought it's the content is kind of difficult. So within the first few classes, I figured out maybe 50% of them will go, but that hasn't happened yet. So we continue to have some challenges, but we are overcoming those challenges, and we are adjusting the course to better meet their needs. One of the things that we're doing is we have had the opportunity to tailor the instruction, and that means that it's going to enhance the learning experience for the students. It gave them also a shower of reality in terms of metacognition. A lot of students say that they want to become lawyers, doctors, nurses, but when they see the reality of a course like this one, it makes them realize that it's not that easy. So the expectations becomes more clear and more real to them. And one of the greatest things that we've been able to accomplish is community support between the students and faculty. We have established a good relationship, and we let them know that we're here to help them. One of the things that you, I guess, for me as a conclusion, but a word of advice, I guess, whenever you have a pilot or a course that is new, addressing the challenges at the beginning is very important. Within the first couple of days, we actually spoke among ourselves, and we sent an update to Winston Zavala, so he was aware of the situation. And because of all the steps, I think we've been able to overcome the challenges. So that's me. Thank you.
Thank
for
you,
the time.
Douglas.
Sure.
And just something that I want to mention also, we have faculty that teaches the certified medical assistant also teaching this course. So we are giving the student high-end education. Also, our ESL instructors are part of our beginner ESL program here. So the combination between our ESL instruction and also the content instruction is very strong. Something that we're looking forward to do if we get funding for the next cohort is defining some minimal requirements instead of language. So it will make it better for all the students to get the material, because it's been tough not only for instructor, but also for the students to obtain that knowledge because of the different levels that we're having in the class. And I believe that that's it for now. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Winster. The next project that I'd like to introduce is the Healthcare Technology and Administration. So for this project update, we have Elvie Vieira from Essex County College and Dana Castro from the HIMSS presenting.
Fantastic. It's great to be here, everybody. I think I'm going to kick it off for these first couple of slides. So for all of you that are not familiar with HIMSS, HIMSS is the Healthcare Information and Management Systems Society. We're a professional society of 125,000 members globally that are on a mission to reform our healthcare ecosystem with information and technology. So we're just thrilled to be part of this, of the NJ Pathways program, and it has been just a true delight working with the Essex County College team. So a few things we wanted to share is HIMSS offers an industry valued credential called the Certified Associate and Certified Professional credentials. And we're excited that we are building out that program at Essex County College to create a essentially around a 16-week instructor-led course that allows our members to enroll in the college and complete their professional credentialing. In the state of New Jersey, we have about 1,700 HIMSS professionals working across the state. And so that's our target market to bring to market and recruit those professionals into Essex County College to earn their credential. As part of the, I'll skip the apprenticeship for a moment, but as part of the capacity building, we have brought on an adjunct teaching professional from our membership who is local to Essex County College. She's in fact a three-time graduate of the college. So bringing her on board has been an inspiration to our program. And what it's also doing is it's creating interest from other HIMSS members to want to join in as an adjunct teaching professional. So we know how hard it is to recruit folks from industry to come into the college, and we're making it happen. We're doing it. On the fourth item down for experiential learning, we had just a fantastic opportunity last fall to partner with Cooper University Health System out of Camden. Their Innovation Center hosted a statewide hackathon for social determinants of health. And so we were able to bring in 5 students to participate in that hackathon. And in addition, we hired those students on to HIMSS as interns, whereby we paid them a stipend and mentored and coached them through their learning experience with the hackathon, presenting in front of professionals, developing their pitch, and doing public speaking, project team management, and so forth. I skipped the apprenticeship program, but that is our North Star of what we're working up towards. In this offering is to take the elements of each of these different areas, like onboarding classes, the credential program, the experiential learning, and ultimately working that into an apprenticeship program, which would be our first health IT technician apprenticeship program in the state. And there's very few in the country. I think we've only found two other universities doing this. So this, when we get to that point, it will be a celebration for our state, but also a celebration nationally that we will be boosting. So I talked a little bit about the credential. So we will be working towards an instructor-led course sometime this summer. The course has been board approved. The adjunct teaching professional was just recently hired in the last couple of weeks. So that is on its way. We have the experiential learning program. We were so excited about these students participating. The hackathon was a success overall from the health system, that they have approved it in their budget to continue the hackathon for the next 2 years. So I think what we'll do differently on this next round for the fall is looking for an employer to actually host the students' internship while they work on the hackathon project. And getting that exposure and more industry involvement. So our team will be going to the New Jersey HIMSS Spring Conference in May, and we'll be working the room to onboard an employer for that. In addition, I think one of the areas that's a best practice, I know there's other associations on the call today, is we're working with the New Jersey chapter and the college to create a co-marketing agreement whereby the local chapter really creates a full-on marketing plan through newsletters, social media, conference sessions, and so forth to really promote Essex County College and the course offerings for the industry valued credential. So that MOU is in our legal review, both with the college and the chapter. So we talked a little bit about the new course that's being offered. I think our challenge is We're doing great overcoming them. The one challenge that we'll be testing out this year is really looking at that marketing and awareness building to get the enrollment for that. In addition, as we onboard our first course, we do want it to be a success. We're hoping to get 10 to 12 professionals and students, a mix of both, into the course. So we're starting to learn, especially from the adult learner perspective, how the professional development budgets work within the employer base. It's a competitive set of funds. So if we're not able to get some of the employers to fund their employees to earn the credential, we'll work through the HIMSS Foundation to subsidize a portion or all of that course cost so that we can get a nice cohort of students in the program for our initial launch. And then some of the advice that I would offer others as we've been going through this journey for 2 years is showing up. So our team has done a great job collectively hitting the pavement and attending conferences, attending webinars, attending networking events to really get our story out there. We had a fantastic keynote presentation last week and received a lot of support and mentorship for others to come in and want to see this program a success. And then I would also just, as I mentioned, to drive student enrollment, professional adult learner enrollment, like look at those partnerships and look at those agreements. We're happy to share ours, and I can would be happy to talk with any association to share our best practice if anybody would like to replicate that. And then lastly, for the apprenticeship program that we're working towards, so we're taking our time to ensure every piece of the apprenticeship program is fully tested before we actually submit and actually launch the apprenticeship program. So we are on track with the classroom training, and we will be starting to test that out this summer. And I think the more difficult part is the hands-on training. Health IT is a very broad industry, from cybersecurity all the way up to database management to artificial intelligence. So we're taking a many-to-many approach with our apprenticeship program, where it's a cohort of students working with a cohort of employers. So this summer we want to be piloting our first hands-on training lab with a New Jersey business for an informatics learning lab. So that will be our first proof of concept that will ultimately feed into an apprenticeship program. And really what we're trying to learn here is how to create the right incentives for the industry. And so we'll talk about that in the future, but that's an area of active discussion for us right now.
Okay. Hi, I'm Elvie Vieira. I'm Dean of Community Continuing Ed and Workforce Development here at Essex County College, and it's been awesome to work with HIMSS, and especially Dana and our instructor that's coming on board, who's a graduate. But we have at Essex County College worked at reviewing the program that we had in the books, which was an AAS degree. And then we learned a lot from that in the first year. And we connected with Rutgers, and really have to shout out to Tilla Chantilly. She's been a really great partner as well, and really understanding what it would mean to take our general science students, speaking with them, and then connecting them to Rutgers. So we found out that, like many colleges, we have close to a couple thousand students that will identify as wanting to be in allied health programs. And so some of them will apply to our nursing program, others physical therapy, but not everyone makes it through those pipelines because the other programs are also very exclusive and very difficult, and they need to have a certain GPA because of the competitiveness. So we thought that this would be a really good transition for some of the students to go ahead and explore health IT, because there's just so much opportunity in that area. And they would be using medical terminology, they would be using their background, and even accounting and management and and also in computers. So working that pathways and getting that articulation that was signed by our board that in December was just really great. And this is, again, continuation for the first one. If anyone wants to learn more about this articulation, we can definitely help you with that. And if we can go to the next slide. Okay, so thank you. So in addition to the articulation agreement, we also, this seems like a repetitive slide. I'm sorry, the next one.
There's not a next one.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I thought there was another one. I'm so sorry. So basically what we're doing now is working internally also with our students in the general science and providing them the opportunity to take credentialing courses here at the college with some of the things that we're doing in our non-credit side. So we're really working in bridging the gap between the non-credit and credit students so that they both understand that there's very entryways into these positions, and while they're going to school they could get these credentials that get them into work, and they could always come in and out. So it's really working with the faculty so that they can sort of like lower some of their, not lower their standards, but lower some of the expectations and actually have an open mind to look at what the non-credit students could do, and recognizing the work that's been done within the college and the non-credit side for all the credentials that get people into these jobs. So bridging that gap, and it's been wonderful to work with Dr. Alvin Williams, who's our academic affairs dean, and he's been super supportive in doing this. And I have a great team with Kathy, Mitra, and Joanna, and if they want to add anything, I would let them go ahead, because it's really, they've been relentless at following up and making sure it's there. And we enjoyed our conference at HIMSS last week, and it was a little bit overwhelming to be in rooms with 30,000 folks and to just realize the potential that there is in this particular field where people can combine a set of skills and switch between industries using their skill set. And just, we've met doctors who changed their journey and decided to get into software development or cybersecurity or other things, administration. And so just seeing the movement and realizing that going forward, so many of our students may be exposed to sort of contract work as opposed to being in the same place, like some of us, working for 30 years or something like that. So we're really excited at the potential. I feel like we're just scratching a little bit at the surface, and there's a lot more work to be done in this area. So we would be very happy to discuss some of the other things in more detail if anyone was interested. So thank you so much for the support, NJCC, Catherine, Aaron. It's been really great to be part of this. So thank you so much. And thank you to Dana.
Great. Thank you so much, Dana and Elvie. I just want to keep an eye on the time. So we have a couple more presentations to go. But the next project that I'd like to introduce is the Dual Certificate for Allied Health Careers. And we have Elvie from Essex County College presenting again. So Elvie, you're muted.
Sorry. Thank you so much. This is where I was getting tripped up with the slide. So sorry about that. So to make it brief, I started talking about the credit and non-credit. We realized that the general science students could benefit from having some of our certificates, like I said before. So allowing them to sign up for no cost phlebotomy in EKG and seeing if the students would be interested in starting. We're just starting to enroll 20 students and just getting them involved and getting the understanding that they could get these certifications that might allow them to work and get in the field so that they understand the expectations of the industry. And then also working with the biology, chemistry, and physics and the faculty there for them to understand what's happening in non-credit and seeing the value of us sharing more and more of like curriculum, and also to have some of the students that we have on the non-credit side be able to potentially get credit for the work that they're doing rather than repeating courses, things like medical terminology and stuff like that. Also with our dual enrollment program, including like the courses that are listed here, Bio 121, the Chemistry 101, 102, medical terminology, these kinds of things, it's again trying to get students on the non-credit to be able to get credit for some of these, or to enroll in these, or some of them to be taking these courses and being understanding that they could continue on to allied health and programs. So there's a lot of work that to get this done, like I said, to just work with the academic side to understand, and the staff have been really great at like starting to meet with the students, providing information sessions and getting them to understand that these credentials are just as important on their way to becoming a nurse or physical therapist or going into the health IT field as well. So it's just like just removing some of the silos and some of the work, which sometimes with the academic side, it's a little bit more rigid than on the non-credit side. But just looking at our non-credit students and just saying, you could potentially get credits towards your general science, but then our general science students, you could potentially get these credentials in order to get ahead. If you can go to the next one. So I think that's it. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much, Elvie. The next project that I'd like to introduce is the Mental Health Project. So Randy Davidson will be presenting from Rowan College of South Jersey. Randy?
Hi, thank you. Yes, I had the pleasure of working with Camden County with Chelsea on this. And this project was focused on the mental health and behavior. For insights in this Pathway Year 1, the project included collaborations with high schools, adult literacy programs, four-year colleges, universities, and our employer partners. And we created an advisory board, which we will be meeting next week. And this is a key for us in making sure that we meet the needs of the employers on these entry-level needs for the students that we're dealing with, especially in high school and in adult literacy, that they can get into the workforce and build that career ladder. In year 1, the Registered Apprenticeship Mentorship Program, or we called it RAMP, R-A-M-P, packet was created. It received approval from the USDOL for a distribution, and in the packet, we provided a roadmap that aligns the educational and training opportunities for high school level education to graduate level careers in this field. Efforts, we collaborated with our college and Camden County to encompass credit and non-credit courses for the Certified Alcohol and Drug Counsel, Mental Health Support Tech, and Certified Drug and Alcohol Counseling certification programs. Again, our key here was to benefit employers looking to fill those entry-level needs to get high school students and our adult literacy folks knowing about the careers, and it's a vast, vast program. In year 2, our primary objective was to network with our employers, colleges and universities, to engage the students, and to have that broad outreach within the population that we want to serve. Next slide, please. The non-credit mental health first aid course was created. It's complemented by workshops on careers in the mental and behavioral health industry. Our high school students also benefit from dual enrollment programs such as psychology, addictions 101, and sociology. They enhance their academic experience, but also provide that understanding of mental health within the sociological context. Our challenge was some high school delays, working directly with the high school counselors, breaking down that kind of that third party person and getting to work directly with the high school counselors who did arrange those workshops and did make those connections and set those dates and times has made it effective, and that we are getting those done. Those dates are set, those students are engaged, and we'll have a better number as soon as we get them in place, but they are set up for this month. Next slide. The Certified Alcohol and Drug Counselor, the CADC certification, requires a high school diploma, and it has 8 courses with addiction, the addiction courses, the human services courses, and to completion of these courses will give a student 25 college credits plus that certification. So that's a great way for a student to get those groundings in, and they can start taking some of these while they're in high school. The pathway offers the option to pursue the associate's degree or begin working immediately into that certified alcohol and drug counseling. The The required training consists of 278 classroom hours and 3,000 on-the-job learning hours. And we do have some great employers already engaged in this program, so we're happy to report that. They're certified peer recovery specialists. Let me take a break. I'm talking fast. The certified peer recovery specialist requires a high school diploma, but it also demands that that individual have some experience themselves in a drug situation or a family member or personally involved with a family member on this. This has 46 hours of related training instruction with 500 hours of on-the-job learning to meet those training requirements for the credential. We have run that program. We have had success with that program, and we do have employer partners who are very engaged with this. It carries 3 college credits and is transferable toward an associate's degree. On the apprenticeship side, now, just to be clear on this, just in case someone has questions, for the CPRS, there's the pillars, and they are considered the mentoring, recovery and wellness, advocacy, ethical and professional behavior, cultural competency, and recovery resources. That's the general 46 hours. When you move into the apprenticeship model, it takes on more of the mental health aspect with basic psychology, interpersonal communication and conflict resolution, coaching and cooperative learning, and then some other techniques, plus because it does have that 144-hour base, plus the 2,000 hours on the job training. So when an employer, one of the things that we're talking about at our advisory is that employer that takes on that apprenticeship will have a person who first is retaining. They'll retain them with more education, more experience, and that opportunity to get those degrees, to get the certification and degree. So that's one of the things that we're really trying to work with the employers on, to build that apprenticeship model. Next slide, please. The individuals in the adult literacy program have the opportunity to attend our non-credit courses in the mental health first aid, and they are also receiving those workshops. So that is also our adult literacy on both our Cumberland and Gloucester campuses are happening, as well as at Camden County. It empowers the adult literacy students with the knowledge and skills to understand what this industry is all about, to make those educational connections, and to see that those options of building that career ladder. They can explore many other courses. Again, we have the psychology, addictions, and sociology. And then the challenge we found was we had a brief delay in the adult literacy program because the program was redesigned. So now we have those connections. We're dealing directly with the director and the vice president of that oversight, and we are getting those students lined up and signed in to take the program. And I think that's the last slide. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Randy. The next project that we'll be presenting is the dental programs project. I'd like to introduce Michael Goonan from Rowan College of South Jersey. Michael?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. So the 2 colleges that have been working in this pathway part for dental programs has been Rowan College of South Jersey, specifically the Cumberland campus, along with Mercer County Community College. So we'll start with Rowan College of South Jersey's action steps that we've been taking over this past year. So here at the college, we have been looking at, sorry, to back up one step, sorry. We've been really looking at, for the past few years, RCSJ has really been looking and exploring how to meet the need of local dentists in the area, meet the need of the jobs that are available for this South Jersey region. And we've always been exploring the dental assistant opportunity. So when this initiative came up, we looked at it as an opportunity to really launch dental programs, different opportunities for different individuals, depending on if they wanted a traditional dental assistant program or something more non-credit. So we looked at 5 different avenues here as part of our pathway project here. So part of that was to really look at and develop an accredited academic dental assistant program with 2 different options, um, academic certificate as well as an associate's degree. We also wanted to explore the option of a short-term dental administrative assistant program, along with a standalone dental radiography program, an introduction course for high school students, and some CEU courses for dental professionals. Next slide. So as I said, we wanted to create a 2-option approach for individuals that wanted to, go through an accredited academic dental assistant program. So we are in the process of creating an academic certificate, which would be 35 credits and a full associate's degree program for those that want to continue. So in the 1 year's time frame, students will get that academic certificate as they go through the fully accredited dental assistant program. We also have met with our local high school counselors to talk about the upcoming program, because it is going to take a while to get this program up and running, since it has to go through accreditation, to get their input, especially for the general education requirements. So at this time right now, the full curriculum has been created. It is currently going through our academic council here internally at the college. We have submitted our program for accreditation to CODA, which is the Commission on Dental Accreditation. So that went in January after the holidays. The application has been received, and we're waiting a site visit, which should happen early fall 2024. And after we have a successful site visit, we should receive preliminary accreditation, where we'll be able to start enrolling students for our July 2025 start. So as you can see, it is a process for that accreditation there. So our first cohort we're anticipating would be that July 2025. The challenges, of course, would be equipment and supplies. Luckily, we have a great partnership with our local Votech High School next door to the college campus, which has a fully equipped state-of-the-art dental lab, which we'll be utilizing for this program. Next slide. One of the other areas that we were looking at was a standalone dental radiography course. Right now, through this initiative, the curriculum has been created. We've applied to the New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection for approval. Looking to hear back spring of 2024. They received it all. It's now in the queue. Our next steps here is we're going to be purchasing more equipment to fully run the program. Again, as we said in the last slide, supplies and equipment very costly. We'll also be getting that new equipment inspected by the state, which again could be another a time delay. So again, we're hoping to have our first evening class for the standalone dental radiography program in the fall of this coming year. There's already several students that are already interested in the course. And once we get things in order, we'll be starting that registration for that program as well. Next slide. High school introduction. So again, we're working with 3 local high schools in the area that already have some kind of healthcare academies, healthcare programs. They're interested in having our dental director here at the college come in and speak to their juniors and seniors, because their juniors would be potentially that first eligible graduating high school class that could go into the dental assistant program. Upon their interest, each school is willing to pilot a kind of a 15-hour introduction course to go more in depth into the dental profession. Both the clinical side as well as the administrative side. One high school is working with our dental director this coming summer to see how they can infuse some kind of dental education into the biomedical program for their seniors, again, to continue to expose them to the dental profession. So our program director is out there right now running introduction presentations and going to be piloting a program. Right now, the biggest issue is aligning with the high school schedules to run a pilot program, to meet the students where they are. So hopefully go into their high school to run the program, or to one of our satellite locations, in the community as well. Next slide. Another initiative that came from this was to create a dental administrative assistant program. So here the curriculum's already been created. We have a teacher that's being onboarded. We are working with a local high school that has 10 students in their healthcare program interested in piloting the program, giving them this exposure, which would lead to a nationally recognized credential for dental office assistant. So again, it would be a 10-week course, and we're looking to start that end of March, beginning of April. Right now, it's all about getting the dental software into our school's computer. So that's our next step here. Next slide. And then finally, I believe here from our RC, from Rowan College's standpoint, is our dental continuing education courses. So we're creating two continuing education courses for licensed dental professionals. One of them has recently been approved here. The dental profession I wasn't taught. So again, more aligned to that and more administrative side that the clinical, that they weren't taught kind of in a clinical standpoint, as well as practicing within our scope. Can I really do that? So kind of really reviewing their scope of practice. These are going to be available as live online virtual courses for continuing education credits. As we said, one has already been submitted and approved, have gotten that to CEU approval, and the other one will be submitted in the near future. So we are anticipating rolling out our first CEU class in this coming summer. Next slide. From Mercer County Community College's standpoint, they are currently already offering a dental assistant program that they're in their 4th year. During this past year, they've really worked in partnership with our Trenton campus on-site leaser, which is KinderSmile Clinic, regarding offering their program kind of more through an informal apprenticeship model. So again, more of that, didactic learning in the classroom, as well as that, that on-the-job learning as well. Great thing here is that many of their graduates have already been placed directly into the clinic for employment. And KinderSmile was awarded a grant from Delta Dental to support student participation in this current year. Their next steps here are going to be expanding their program with high school partners in the 25-26 fiscal year. Right now, they're also in development of their dental radiography and hygienist programs. And again, the biggest challenge here across the board is the cost of equipment. Positive note here, inclusive of their current cohort, they've already graduated 25 individuals into this field. So they're looking to really expand that and continue to put more professionals in the field to meet the need of employers. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Michael. And our last project that I'd like to introduce is increasing access to and strengthening the healthcare career pathway with Mara Kavanaugh Dick from Salem Community College.
Good morning, everyone. It's wonderful to be here with all of our pathway colleagues. I know I'm the last pathway, so I will try to be quick in my remarks, but talk about our great project here. As already mentioned, everyone already knows that there's a shortage of nurses and workers in the healthcare field. So our goal of this pathway was to increase access and to the pathway and strengthen the pathway. And we did this by collaborating with our Salem County Vocational and Technical School, who has an adult education program here at the college, offering a CNA, MA, and phlebotomy programs already. And we never, this came out of, we really never had a strong process for connecting them to our nursing and our health science associate degree program. They would occasionally apply for our nursing program or get on the pathway, but we really took this opportunity to pilot and create a structure for this process. So the goal was, the intended outcome goals were to provide opportunity to the adult graduates and of the CNA, MA, and phlebotomy programs to foundational courses along the pathway, provide them personalized advising, provide them experiential learning along the pathway, and also train our faculty. So I'll talk about this a little bit more in the next slide. We really wanted to create the pathway, but then also create a structure that would live on past this grant opportunity. And so first and foremost, in terms of activities, we started to revise our curriculum. So the course that the students were going to have access to was our Bio 150 course, which is our Fundamentals of A&P course. This is a course that students need to apply to our nursing program because it's the prerequisite for the upper level A&P courses, as well as being part of our associate degree program in health science. So we revised the curriculum to include patient care learning outcomes. Our faculty in the health science department helped with that. We then marketed and recruited for the pilot cohort. Our goal was to get 24 students who had graduated or were current students about to graduate from the CNA, MA, or phlebotomy programs here at the vocational adult programs. And so we created marketing materials and worked with the director of the vocational adult program to recruit students. And we had quite a bit of excitement. Somebody mentioned this before, because we were providing free tuition to college level classes. And some of these students never really saw themselves as being able to take college classes. So our goal was 24 students. We actually had 23 inquiries, 14 had applied, and we initially got 10 who applied, who enrolled in the course. So that was very exciting. We actually now are going to do a summer cohort as well. So we have 2 additional. So we're up to 12 total, 25 inquiries and 12 who have applied. So we're very excited about that. Additionally, we wanted to make sure that the course that they were taking progressed in their pathway and they saw the connection to nursing. So we added some new equipment to the Bio 150 curriculum, the Fundamentals of Anatomy and Physiology curriculum. We purchased a auscultation mannequin, a vitals cart, some upgraded stethoscopes and blood pressure cuffs and EKG finger monitors. And the students are really excited about using this equipment early in their pathway before they even get to nursing. Faculty were trained in this as well, so we did quite a bit of faculty professional development, so they all had that. The course is currently running, and students are also receiving personalized advising. So we hired an advisor along the pathway, someone who already works here in our admissions and advising department, and she's providing one-on-one advising to each of the students. So they have personalized meetings. She's really, I think somebody used the word coach earlier. She's really acting as their personal coach through the program, and that has been wonderful. And then once the program, the cohort runs through the course, we'll evaluate the outcomes. Next slide, please. So the main challenges were, in terms of recruiting the cohort, was the heavy work schedule of students. They're already working as either CNAs or MAs, and to be able to take a college level class is tricky in their schedule. Also their preparedness. A lot of them are on that pathway because they never felt like they could do college, if you will. So they went the route of a technical program. And so some of them don't have some of the skills ready for a upper level college level class. So some of the solutions that we came across, originally we were only going to offer one course. So what we did instead, because we saw students needed some flexibility, is we offered a variety of scheduling opportunities. So we actually have 3 classes in the spring that they could choose from. And now we're actually going to offer 1 additional course in the summer for them to choose from. So we've seen really good success from that. The other thing is, for the preparedness item, is to provide this personalized caring advising before and throughout the course. And just letting the students feel like they know that they can do it and to believe in them really is helping them along the pathway for this particular course, and hopefully will translate into a successful pathway into nursing or another healthcare career. Ancillary outcomes, as we've been purchasing equipment and developing this pathway, the health science faculty and the nursing faculty have been collaborating. And so it's really been great to see, sometimes A&P classes are taught on their own, and then the nursing classes are here separately. And it's really been great to see them work together, get trained on equipment. We had the nursing faculty over recently, and they saw how many models we have in our anatomy and physiology room. And so now they're sharing ideas and equipment and different things. So this has been a really great opportunity for that. Final advice, and I think this goes for all these pathways, is to, whenever developing these pathways, to really put students at the forefront of your design. Just seeing the look on a student's face when you say, wow, you could be a nurse, and to develop those supports for them along the pathway, and to learn their stories has really been probably the greatest success that we've seen along this pathway. I thank everyone for listening and can answer any questions.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much to all the presenters. We do have one question in the chat, but just in the essence of time, I'll read it out for everyone. Rosa Higgins was asking about the procedures for candidates to apply for the Essex County program. Rosa, we'll connect you directly with the Essex team. And at this point, I will hand it over to Catherine for closing remarks.
Thank you, Susan. Thank you to everyone who was able to stay on for an hour and a half. I know we're at the end of our time. As you can see, we have 10 Pathways projects happening in the Center of Workforce Innovation for Patient Care, which is a lot, but this is a critical industry sector, and certainly all of these pathways are in demand and critical for our state. We understand that there are other pathways like respiratory care. I got a couple of private messages in the chat about that one. We did have a pathway on respiratory care in year one, but we will rally those folks who are interested in that subsector so that maybe we can have another one for next year. Again, all of this work would not be possible without the collaboration, coordination, and quite honestly, sincere engagement of all the education and industry partners that participate in this Pathways initiative. I want to acknowledge Chrissy Butius, formerly of the New Jersey Business and Industry Association, who joined us today. She was critical in really getting this all off the ground. Michelle Sakurka, Chris Hemmerholtz, Aaron Fichtner, and myself. And so it's great to see Chrissy check up on us and see what's happening. There are additional collaborative meetings focused on our other centers of workforce innovation. This is the QR code that you can put your phone up to and scan so that you might register for those additional collaborative meetings. We will be having a Pathway Summit coming up June 12th in Atlantic City at Bally's Hotel and Casino. This will be our second Pathway Summit. We had a very successful one last year. We invite all of you all to join us. There's information on our website, njpathways.org, where you can get information on that. The registration is coming out soon. And certainly because you all have registered for this meeting, you will receive an email from us regarding registration. I think, I always forget. Here are all of our social media handles. If you want to post something about this collaborative meeting or others, or just your engagement in the Pathways initiative, please feel free to do that and tag us on our handle. Again, this is an amazing statewide collaborative initiative. We thank all of you all for participating, your continued support, and it's just going to get better and better. And we are going to, in fact, align all of our education and training in the state to the employer's needs to build an innovative workforce. Thank you for helping us do that. Have a good afternoon, or soon to be good afternoon. Bye-bye.